Hi, and welcome to the State of Pennsylvania's Summer Reading Program. The program this summer is called Tales and Tales, and this presentation is brought to you by the great folks at the Pocono Mountains Music Festival. My name is Scott Coulter, and I'm your host for this video and a follow-up video that we'll share with you next month. Now, both of these videos are going to be focused on stories, storytelling, and songwriting. I bet you have a favorite song. And I bet that a lot of you have a favorite song that is based on a story or a book, because some of the greatest songs ever written were based on stories that can be found in your local library. So today, I'm going to tell a story. You're going to listen to the story. Then you're going to make note of very special words in that story that you think might be good words to use in a song. And we're going to talk about them when the story's over. Sound good? All right. The story I'm going to tell you today is Jack and the Beanstalk, which some of you may have heard before. Some of you may have heard many times before. And some of you may be hearing it for the very first time. So, whether you're hearing it for the first time or the 61st time, I want everybody to listen to the story in a way that makes you really concentrate on the words. And then we're going to find some special words from the story that we might use to put into a song about Jack and the Beanstalk. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack who lived near the forest with his mother. But Jack and his mother were very poor, very poor. In fact, the only thing they had was a cow named Milky White. One day, Jack's mother said, "Jack, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we have to sell Milky White. I need you to take Milky White to the market and sell her for as much money as you can get so that we can have food to eat." Well, Jack was terribly upset because he loved Milky White, but he understood that they had no choice. So Jack took the cow and headed off to market. But on the way, before he could get to market, he ran into a wise old man. And the old man stopped him and said, Jack, are you going to sell your beloved cow?" And Jack said, "I have no choice. I have to sell my cow." And the old man said, "I'll save you a trip to market. I will give you these 5 magic beans in exchange for your cow." "Magic beans?" thought Jack. "Yes, magic beans," said the old man. And Jack thought, magic beans sound wonderful. I'll make that deal. So he gave the old man the cow, and the old man gave Jack 5 magic beans. And Jack turned around and went home. When he got home, he was so excited. Mother, I'm back." His mom said, "Jack, why are you back so early? You didn't have time to get all the way to market and back." No, Mother. I ran into a wise old man, and he gave me something wonderful in exchange for Milky White." "What did he give you?" said the mom. 5 magic beans," said Jack. "Magic beans?" said the mother. "What are we going to do with magic beans? We can't eat magic beans. I cannot believe you did this." And she took the beans, threw them out the window, and sent Jack to bed without any supper. Well, Jack was terribly upset. He'd lost his best friend, the cow, Milky White. And his mother was upset that he'd brought home 5 magic beans. So that night when he went to sleep, he was very, very sad. But the next morning when he woke up, he rubbed the sleep from his eyes and he looked out the window. And what do you think he saw? An enormous beanstalk had grown outside his window where his mother had thrown the magic beans. He ran outside. He looked at the beanstalk, started at the ground, looked all the way up. And the beanstalk went all the way up into the sky, through the clouds, as far as he could see. Well, Jack, being a young boy, And Jack, being an adventurous young boy, decided to climb that beanstalk. And so he did. He climbed and 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 he went so high in the sky. And he looked down and he could see his little house, the little house by the edge of the forest where he lived with his mother. And he kept climbing up into the sky. And when he got to the top and looked around, all he could see was an enormous castle off in the distance. So he started to walk, and he walked to the castle. When he got to the castle, there was an enormous front door that he pushed open ever so slowly and went inside. When he got inside, he couldn't believe his eyes. Everything was huge. Huge chairs, huge doors, huge sofas, huge kitchen table. And he realized someone very tall must live here. Maybe even a giant. Right about that time, he heard footsteps come crashing down the hall. Boom, 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 boom. And he heard an enormous voice say, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." Jack was terrified. There was a giant. He was in the house of a giant. He looked around to try to find somewhere to hide, and all he saw was a cupboard door that he could squeeze inside. And he got in just in time before the giant walked into the room. Well, Jack peered around the door to look to see what was happening. And he saw this incredibly large giant sit down at the table and put a hen on the table and a golden harp on the table. So there sat the giant at this huge table with a hen and a harp. Well, as Jack watched from behind the door, the giant said to the hen, "Lay!" said the hen. "Lay!" said the giant. And right there and then, the hen laid a golden egg. An egg made entirely of gold. And Jack thought, oh, what would I give to have that golden egg? My mother and I could eat for years and years and years if we had a golden egg. But before he could do anything about it, the giant turned to the harp and said to the harp, "Sing! Sing!" And the harp started to sing the most beautiful sound Jack had ever heard. La 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 la. Jack thought the music was beautiful, but he could tell by the look on the harp's face that the harp was unhappy. He suspected the giant had stolen the harp and that the harp was being held captive. So, Jack had a plan. He would save the hen and save the harp, and therefore also save the life of himself and his mother. So he waited for the giant to go to sleep. And he waited, and he waited, and he waited. Said the giant. And when Jack was sure the giant was asleep, he slowly crept out of the cupboard, walked to the table, climbed up the leg of the table to the top of the table, took the hen under one arm, took the harp very quietly under the other arm, walked to the edge of the table, and jumped down to the floor. He landed. He looked up. The giant was still asleep. So he quietly tiptoed to the front door, quietly edged around the front door, and started running for the beanstalk that would take him back home. Well, The minute he started running, the harp woke up. And the harp didn't know what was happening, and nor did the hen. And the harp started screaming, "Help me, help me, help me!" And the hen started going, "Ba, ba, 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 ba." All the noise woke up the giant. The giant woke up, realized his hen and his harp were gone. He stood up, turned around, fee, fi, fo, fum, and started chasing Jack. Well, Jack had a pretty good head start. So when he got to the beanstalk, without even looking behind, he scrambled down as fast as he could. It was hard because he had a hen in one hand and a harp in the other, but he sort of slid, halfway climbed all the way down the beanstalk. And as he got closer to the ground, he called out to his mother, "Mother, mother, quick, please bring the axe." So his mother, hearing Jack cry, ran out with the axe. When Jack got to the ground, he put the hen down, he put the harp down, he took the axe and started whack, thwack, thwack, chopping the beanstalk. Well, by this point, the giant was halfway down the beanstalk, but the giant was so big, much bigger than Jack, that the beanstalk couldn't stand the weight. And that, combined with the chopping that Jack was doing with the axe, made the beanstalk fall. And the giant, boom, crashed on the ground. And no one ever saw the giant again. And Jack and his mother and the hen and the harp all lived happily ever after. That's a pretty good story, huh? Have any of you heard that before? Okay. Any of you hearing it for the very first time? Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm so glad some of you got to hear it for the first time in that retelling. Now, we're going to write a song based on that story. But in order to do that, we need to know some words from that story that are very important to the story, but would also be very important to the song. Okay, so Jack, that's a word that's very important to the story. Don't you think so? Cow is an important word. What else might be an important word? Yes, beans. Beans are a very important word for this story. So we have Jack, cow, beans. Anybody else got one? Yes, hen. Hen is an excellent word. Jack, cow, beans, hen. How about harp? Let's put harp on our list. Does that sound good? Jack, cow, beans, hen, harp. And how about sky? I love that word, sky. As far as the eye can see, sky. Okay, so Jack, cow, beans, hen, harp, and sky. Those are the words we're going to try to use in the song that we're going to write. Now, once we've identified these important words, the next thing we have to do is find words that rhyme with them, because that's what makes a song. Songs rhyme. They have a melody and lyrics, and the lyrics rhyme. So let's think about the word Jack. What kind of words do we know that rhyme with Jack? Well, sack, that's a good word. Jack might use a sack. Crack, back, hack, he hacked down the beanstalk with the axe. Thwack, thwack, that's a good word. It rhymes with Jack, and that's the sound the axe makes, right? Thwack. That's good. Sack, crack, back, hack, thwack. How about for cow? Can you think of any rhymes for the word cow? Words that sound like cow? Like now, or how, or plow, or bow, like you take a bow when you do a good job. Pow, vow. That's a lot of good words for cow. Now, how, plow, bow, pow, and vow. How about beans? That's a good one. Beans, magic beans. What rhymes with beans? Cleans, means, Greens. Jeans. I like to wear jeans. Maybe Jack wears jeans. That rhymes with beans. Leans. The beanstalk leans from the right to the left. That's a good rhyming word. Scenes. Okay. So beans. Cleans, means, greens, jeans, leans, and scenes. All right. Hen. This is a good word. I love the word hen. It's a short word. 3 letters. H-E-N. What rhymes with hen? When, ben, den, men. Both Jack and the Giant are men. Pen, like you write with a pen. 10. We could even say that Jack was 10 years old when Jack was 10 when he stole the hen. That would work, right? So 10 is a good one. So for hen, we have when, ben, den, men, pen, and 10. All right, now harp. What rhymes with harp? Sharp rhymes with harp. Tarp rhymes with harp. Tarp, like, you might build as a covering if you lived in the woods, a tarp to cover you. I don't really know any other words that rhyme with harp. Do you? Can you think of any? Yeah. So you know what? Let's take harp off of our list. It's a good word. We can maybe use it in the song somewhere, but it's not easy to rhyme. So we'll have to find another way to use it. But no rhymes for harp. Which leads us to our last word, which is sky. So what rhymes with sky? Why, by, high. The beanstalk went high, up to the sky. Pie. That may be my favorite word that rhymes with sky. Oh, I know what rhymes with sky. Phi. And that's in our story. Fee, fi, fo, fum, fi rhymes with sky. That's a good one to put on the list. Let's see if we can make that work. Okay, so just to be clear, these are our words and our rhyming words, if you can see them. Jack, cow, beans, hen, and sky. And under Jack, you'll see we have sack, crack, back, hack, lack, which I didn't include the first time. I lacked that word on my original list, but we added thwack, so that's a good one. And for cow, we have now, how, plow, bow, pow, and vow. For beans, we have cleans, means, greens, jeans, leans, and scenes. For hen, we have when, ben, den, men, pen, and 10. No rhymes for harp, except for sharp and tarp. So we're leaving it off the list. And we're going to go with sky. Why, by, high, pie, and phi. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Now, all we're going to do next is come up with a melody. Some sort of song that we can put our words on. Like dun 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 dun. That might be a melody. Dun 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 dun. Could be a melody. But what we're going to do is send our words that we've come up with to a songwriter who's going to come up with a song, use our words to make a song. And next month, we're going to meet back right here, the same place. We're going to hear the story again, and we're going to put the song in it. And then we're all going to learn the song and sing it together. Sound good? All right. I'll see you in about 3 weeks. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye. Happy reading.